Greetings, weary travelers. Welcome to, or welcome back, to the Reaction Sleepover. This is the series where we get cozy and we react to stuff. Today we are reading more Am I the A-Hole posts where we read and try to cope with some humor, and overall try to give our opinion on trying to encourage communication and empathy and all the good stuff. And again, cope with humor. Some things that happen in these stories is like, whew, okay. If you have any stories of your own you'd like to share, you can email me, or there's a link below to go to a Google form, and I would love to read them. It could be about anything. It could be like, am I the a-hole, a wedding story, or something silly that you think would be fun for me to read. So, without further ado, grab your cozies and snackies, and let's head on into it. Alright. Am I the a-hole for not making board game nights in my store child-free? I, 35 male, own a game store and hold board game / D&D nights 3 times a week. My husband and his friends do D&D every week. I love my nerds. It's actually quite fun to listen to them. It's very fun. They always try to recruit me. I really like listening. I'm not really one to play it. Maybe I will one day. Maybe they'll coax me in. They'll dangle some cheese, which would be effective because I love cheese. I have a few tables set up in the back so people can come in and play games, along with a small kitchen, really just a fridge, microwave, sink, and cupboard, so people can have some snacks and drinks while playing. One of the regular groups have been playing D&D in my store on a weekly basis for the past 3 years, and I've sometimes joined them as a guest player, and it's always been great fun. Great fun. Feels like such a fancy way to say that. How great fun this tea party is. About a year ago, they had to find a new DM because their usual DM didn't have the time to dedicate to preparing campaigns anymore. They're like, no! While they were looking, they still came in weekly, but just played regular board games instead. Background noise of tables being flipped. Oh, they're playing Monopoly again. Now, a few months ago, this 10-year-old girl, let's just call her Emma for convenience, showed up with her mother at one of the game nights. According to her mother, Emma had spending months making all kinds of materials for playing D&D, but didn't know anyone who would play with her. So her mother wondered if it was okay for her to ask at my store if anyone would be willing to play. The regular group was more than happy to join in for a session, and it ended up going so well, they asked Emma to DM for them regularly if she wanted to. That is so cute. Fast forward to now, and Emma is DMing 2 days a week, one time for the regular group and one time for one-off sessions for other people to jump in if they want. I swear this girl is a genius. She has memorized the entire player's handbook and monster guide and has made a fully homebrew campaign that's genuinely fun and exciting, though sometimes also surprisingly dark. That's so funny when children are just like, where did you get this from? I gotta feel like that's like... possibly my parents watching me like enjoy horror Let's Plays when I was little, and they're like, oh, how'd you get into that? Now for the problem. Now for the non-wholesome part. A few other people have started complaining about there being a child on game nights, saying the reason they're playing here is because they have children at home. So you don't have to play. You don't have to play. Like, I'm sure there's other groups you can join. Like, are you just upset that she's there? Because that's not cool. She has every right to be there. Especially if the owner is like, yeah, cool, why not? And other people are happy for her to be there. I don't know, that's such an interesting thing that happens a lot lately, that people are like, what about me? And it's like, you don't have to engage in this. Whether it be something on social media, you can scroll away from it. If there's a child playing board games with a group of people, like, you don't have to engage in that. You can walk away. It's hard not to laugh at that because it's like, you don't have to engage with it. There are other things you can do. Good luck. Now that Emma is also coming to the game nights, they feel like they can't play games as they usually do because they keep having to think about whether their language or jokes are inappropriate for the presence of a child. I mean, that's understandable. You have to censor a little bit more. But even then, like, those people who are like that up in arms about it, they don't have to play with her. They can form their own group, right? Because it seems like other people that play with her are just fine. I told them I never said anything about providing a child-free space, so I won't be banning Emma from coming. Wait. They wanted them to ban her? She shows up one day and go like, sorry, you're banned. You're telling me you want the owners to do that and have her just be on the other side of the glass holding up her D&D stuff like SpongeBob holds up that tear sweater he made for Squidward? You want to see that? You want to see her suffer? How rude! So I'm sorry if they don't like it, but they're welcome to plan their nights on days where Emma isn't there. That's the thing. It's not like she's there all the time. And you don't have to engage with that. Or find a different place to play. I'm sure there's other places. I did tell Emma's mother that Emma is only allowed to be here as long as one of her parents is also present. Not going to take any risk. I mean, she's 10 years old. That's probably not the worst thing to enforce. Am I the a-hole for not banning children from game nights and telling people to basically suck it up? No. If you don't like it, you don't have to engage with it. Just because you don't like it doesn't make you entitled to make other people, like, not exist. Like, it's fine, I guess, if you don't want to, like, play with a child, or if you want, like, don't want to be around them for whatever reason, but you have to understand this is a public space, and, like, lots of other people enjoy, like, her being there. Go on a different day or something. Don't gotta be that difficult. Okay? Okay. Enjoy. Am I the a-hole for showing up at my sister's party after her miscarriage despite knowing that I couldn't drink and people would suspect I was pregnant? My name is Kayla, I'm 22 female. My sister Leah, who's 25, unexpectedly had a miscarriage a week ago. I felt especially guilty because I recently had found out I was pregnant as well, but had opted to wait to tell anyone. You can tell that OP wants to be mindful of their sister. Like, that's very sweet, and that's very kind that she's like, I don't want to step on her toes. So that's definitely like, how do you approach that? I felt guilty. This is where it's just sad, because, like, you feel guilty about, like, essentially being pregnant. And that already, to me, like, speaks wonders about their relationship, because it's like, if she's feeling fearful of sharing that she's pregnant, because I can understand feeling, like, hesitant for favor of, you know, what if, you know, her sister, like, feels sad? Because, like, why would she want her sister to feel sad? But, like, feeling guilty? Oh, you poor sweet baby. So I elected to keep quiet about it for as long as I could, as I didn't want to take any attention away from her grief or cause her any pain. This became a problem when my family arranged a little get-together at her place to help her feel better, where alcohol was to be involved. Oh boy. And that's a difficult position to be in, because you want to be there for her, but as you're saying, like, this is an awkward position because you are pregnant, and it's, like, weirder. It would feel bad to not show up, because that's where my mind goes. It's like, oh, maybe don't go. Like, you don't have to go if you think it would cause problems, but also it's your sister, so you want to go. What a difficult position to be in. It's like, I totally get where you're coming from when you want to not take away attention from the grief, but at what point does it become, like, that's the only thing that's important, and then everyone else has to, like, adhere to that, and no one is allowed to live their life. And I'm afraid that that's the direction that this is gonna go. I'd like to think there's a way to, like, read the room, right? Like, it's not a crime to be pregnant. Maybe don't, like, flaunt it a bunch, I guess. Like, don't be, like, keep in mind the grief of what your sister's going through, but, like, I'd like to think you don't need to feel badly or guilty about being pregnant. Anyway, the night was going fine, and my sister really seemed to be smiling and enjoying herself. Good. I was staying away from the beer and vodka, kind of shutting down the strange looks from my family and friends, who know I almost never turn down the opportunity to drink. Most were believing my lies, except my sister's friend Ash, who came up to me and asked, "Are you pregnant or something? Why aren't you drinking?" I laughed and said I had to watch out for my health, and trying to change the subject. Wasn't technically a lie. It's just not very specific, like it is looking after your health. And your baby's health. This is such a hard situation to be in. Because it's like, what do you do? Because you feel like you're going to step on people's toes if you reveal you're pregnant. But that's also such a sad, like, again, I feel like reading this, that reveals how your relationship with your family is. That if someone's grief has to overshadow everyone else's lives and, like, happy things, that's where I think it's starting to cross a line. Because I think there's a difference between, like, reading the room and being respectful and that. You get what I mean? My sister saw us talking, however, and came up with a shot in her hand. Okay. She basically said that she was really glad I was here and wanted to take a shot with me. I feel the pain in that moment, because it's like, you can't, but, like, You know, it is kind of weird, though, that everyone is, like, pushing so hard. Like, why aren't you drinking? Why aren't you drinking? Like, anyone at any time can choose to not drink. Like, just because someone has a history of drinking, like, whenever there's an opportunity, doesn't mean they have to now. Like, it's not really your business. Like, you have no idea what's going on, right? It's like, she could be not drinking for any reason. It seems so far that pausing here, the sister doesn't mean anything by this. She's like, oh, I'm excited you're here. Let's take a shot. I had a feeling that Ash had told her I wasn't drinking and had to confirm her suspicions. Again, yeah, that's weird behavior. Why is everyone here, like, so weirded out by you not drinking? Like, sure, it could be like a passing thought, like, oh, she's not drinking. Weird. And then they can just move on. Like, why? Ash is really going out of her way here. I smell potential stinky behavior. And, you know, everything so far, it's like, sure, you're not being straightforward with everyone about like being pregnant, which like could potentially be like, oh, it's not necessarily their fault that they don't know, but also people seem to be acting very strange here. That part's weirding me out. I turned her down and said I was just happy to be in the moment with her. Leah got this teary look on her face and kind of eyed my stomach. She set the drink down and asked me slowly if I was pregnant and trying to hide it. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. I froze in the moment, which must have basically confirmed what she was suspecting. And I can't blame you. If everyone's already like so suspicious of everything, everyone was probably watching that. She burst into tears and asked again, much louder this time. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Which caused most of the people in our apartment to look at us. Scared introvert noises. She told me to either drink the shot or tell her the truth. Okay, this is the behavior I was talking about. There is nothing wrong with Leah being rightfully sad and in grief over her miscarriage. No one is saying she's not entitled to that. But Leah, that is a very unkind position to put your sister in, to be like, either drink or tell me. Because if you suspect she's pregnant, why would you make her drink? And back to what we were saying before, why would you make someone drink anyway? To like force someone to drink is never okay. Don't do that. So yeah, this is the behavior I'm talking about, where like it's okay to, right? It's okay to have feelings. It's not okay to use that to mistreat other people. And this is crossing into mistreatment in my mind. Like, no matter what the context is, trying to make someone drink is not okay. My guy. I wasn't sure what to do, so I opted to just tell her the truth. Poor thing felt so trapped in that moment, I'm sure. I tried to tell her that I didn't really want to take any attention away from her pain, but she wasn't listening. And see, okay, whenever we read these, we try to have nuance, right? We can understand why Leah is feeling the way she's feeling, because that's true. It can also be true that her sister seems to be very uneasy about sharing that she's pregnant, and it would be nice if Leah could take a moment to pause as much as she's able to muster, because we understand she's grieving, but still to take a moment to try to understand why her sister would feel so uneasy about sharing that she's pregnant, that she would feel so nervous. Like, if my sister felt nervous about, like, if I was in this position, say that I had a miscarriage and then my sister told me that she's pregnant, obviously, like, I would be feeling so many emotions, right? And that would be so valid. But to take that out on her and trying to like make her feel guilty about being pregnant, I don't understand why someone would want to do that. That just goes beyond like grieving. That's using your pain to cause further pain to other people, that's not okay. And again, trying to look at it from Leah's perspective, like seeing that your sister was trying to hide it, perhaps the rest of the family too, like seeing someone trying to hide their pregnancy, we can understand why like that would be upsetting, right? It's like, why would you hide that from us? But even when trying to approach the person who is hiding it, try to think about why they feel the need to hide it. Because in this situation, she feels like she has to, because she feels guilty. As is playing out in the rest of the story, people are getting quite upset with her. And it's like, keeping something that huge from your family, we can understand why they feel upset, right? But that doesn't give them an excuse to start acting like this, because her like doing the take the shot or tell me, that's too far. Best course of action here is to say, why are you hiding the pregnancy from us? Like trying to invite like warmth there and try to like create a safe space there and try to be like, hey, I see that you're trying to hide this. I'd like to understand why. Like trying to come from a place of understanding. Don't attack her. Come on, family. She started accusing me of coming to her apartment to boast about my pregnancy and how I always got what I wanted. Oh, Leah. Simple fact of the matter is that she has been trying to keep it on the down low. So it's literally not true that she is boasting about her pregnancy. If you're saying she's boasting about her pregnancy by just existing, that's not true. So she's literally lying in this moment. And you know, the other part of me is like, I get it, you're hurt, you're grieving, and that's so valid. But don't take that out on your sister, assuming, like obviously she is pregnant, but it's like looking at it from Leah's perspective, trying to be in a place to understand that she is hurting. And when people are hurt, they are not being their best selves, right? And we can get that. We can understand that there's a reason for why they act that way, but we don't have to excuse it. Even having the grieving feelings she's having, that doesn't make this behavior okay. Okay. She also said that shouldn't have come to the party knowing that I couldn't drink and that I obviously knew that people were going to know I was pregnant. Basically going on about how I was attention seeking. Sorry, my throat is not clear enough. Time to chug. It is very... Oh gosh. Oh, the demon escaping my body. It is so hard watching someone not be their best selves and understanding that it's coming from a place of pain, but it also is just still so frustrating because it's like, you can't, that's not very kind to use your grief against other people. We may not be able to control what happens to us, but we can control how we react, right? And there is absolute, like, making this clear, she is entitled to grieve, but she is not entitled to use that grief against other people, especially not her loved ones. At this point, our dad stepped in to calm her down since she was belligerent at this point. At that point, me and my boyfriend decided it was better for us to just leave. Oh, that was my other thought. The whole, like, I shouldn't have come to the party knowing that I couldn't drink and all of that. I mean, clearly at this point, none of this is being said in good faith, right? Like, it doesn't seem like she actually means this, because if Kayla didn't come, then it would have been a whole other issue. At least I'm assuming that, right? We don't know for sure. It seems like it would have been another big deal if she didn't come, and then she may have used that against Kayla even further. You know, like, there was no way for Kayla to win here, unfortunately, because her relationship with her sister and perhaps her other family members seems so, like, it's not secure, which is like, come on, just communicate. Empathy is great. I'm glad your dad stepped in, and it seems like he could tell that, like, okay, like, we need to take a break here. I understand that you're feeling very emotional right now, but, like, please don't treat your sister like that. I even got a few congrats, which I felt awful about. Don't feel... no! I can just so tell that Kayla, like, she means so well, and, like, she never wanted any of this to happen. And perhaps in the future, it would be good to be straightforward, but even being straightforward, it seems like it wouldn't have gone well anyway. So it's like, I completely understand why the situation was so hard in the first place. She's not really talking to me right now, which I kind of understand, but at the same time, all I really wanted was to be there for her. That's what I'm saying. Like, if she didn't go to the party, then based on the way that her sister is reacting here, it would have turned into, you're not supporting me. And she did go, and then this happened. And, you know, even after this really emotional outburst moment, we would hope that Leo would go, hey, that wasn't a good moment for me. I'm sorry I took it out on you. It was unfair of me to use my grief against you. You know, something like that, like acknowledging that that was a highly emotional moment and understanding where it comes from, but still saying, hey, I will not treat you so unkindly next time. But unfortunately, that's not what's happening, because the behavior is continuing. So that's indicating that she's still in this mindset that her sister is trying to, like, take the spotlight, which it doesn't seem like that's happening. So that's very unfair of Leah to pin that on Kayla, when Kayla is just trying to be there for her. People are more so leaning in her side because she's going through a hard time right now, but I feel like I'm not being listened to. It unfortunately seems like her entire family is... I mean, again, remember before they were, like, being very strange, saying, like, why isn't she drinking? Why isn't she drinking? Like, being all up in her business. So her family already was giving me bad vibes there. My mom told me that she understands, but it was wrong of me to come knowing I was pregnant. And that was a thought I had before, right? Like, I mentioned, like, oh, maybe it would have been better to not go, but I can totally understand why that didn't feel right to do, because, like, she obviously wanted to be there for her sister, and, like, being pregnant shouldn't take away from that. I can understand the point of, like, maybe she shouldn't have gone. Perhaps she should have been more straightforward, but look at how the family reacted. So can you even really blame Kayla for feeling like she isn't safe to share? Because it seems like they were going to be very, what's the word? There's a word I'm looking for. Defensive. There we go. No, offensive? Defensive. Offensive. I'm thinking sports. It seems like her family was going to be very offensive anyway. So Because even in all of this, they were like being very aggressive about the drinking thing, and then her sister about like finding out that she was pregnant. Because again, we can understand that in that moment, it would have been hard for her to hear that her sister was pregnant. But then she started accusing her of, you're trying to boast about your pregnancy, and that you're trying to take the attention away from me. That is so unfair. And then after that moment, her sister is showing no sign of regret of that moment, of being like, hey, I wasn't being my best self. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have taken out my grief on you. We wish that would happen. And again, the nuance. We're trying to understand where everyone's coming from. And it seems like Kayla is doing that effort, but the family is not, which is deeply frustrating. Kayla, I dearly hope that you do not feel responsible for your family's actions, because a lot of what they did in this situation was not fair to you. It really wasn't. Many people are clearly not acting as their best selves, and that is not on you.
Poor behavior, I say.
Like, I can see you can make the argument, maybe she should have been more straightforward, maybe she shouldn't have gone to the party, but remember, like, why does she feel this way? Because her family's not creating a safe environment for her to be able to do so. That's just me. Edit, I know you guys may find it strange we partied after her miscarriage so soon. That's just how my family is. We drink and get together after funerals too. We really aren't the type to mope around in our feels. We like to be together and have fun as family when things are hard. I know that may be different for most of y'all. Well, that's great. Like, I'm glad that that is a thing in your family. I wish that this situation could have been that way too. I hope the best for Kayla, and really I hope the best for everyone too, because like, we don't want people to be unhappy. We want people to be their best selves, even when they enrage us. But I especially hope the best for OP, because she is not the a-hole. Even the areas where she could be, I don't know. She didn't feel safe to communicate any of that, and that's not her fault. When it comes to a moment where there's like high intense emotions and you're feeling like maybe you're about to say something you regret, do your best to take a breath and either like take a break from the conversation, say, hey, things are getting heated, I need a small break, like just go into the other room or something, or just say like, hey, I feel like I'm not being my best self. Let's come back to this conversation so we don't say anything we regret, especially when it comes to family. And if someone else is not being their best selves, I think do your best to uphold that boundary of like, hey, I understand that you're upset, but please don't treat me so poorly, or I will not engage in this conversation. Like, if we're going to have this conversation, I would like it to be coming from a place of authenticity and, having it in good faith. Because if a conversation is clearly not being had in good faith, it's like, is it really worth having it? If you're doing your best to be receptive and the other is not, then uphold boundaries and do your best. Am I the a-hole for telling my mom she needs a reality check? I, 32 female, live in a house with my kids, 6 female and 1 male. To me that reads 1 million. There's 1 million children!
I collect them like Pokemon cards.
And both of my best friends, 32 male and 29 non-binary, who are godparents to my children. I've never even seen The Godfather, but whenever I see godparents, I just think that. Or Fairly Odd Parents. We have a 4-bedroom house and everyone is comfortable and has their own space. We are happy with our situation. Probably helps with rent too. Or mortgage. Whichever you're doing. My mom, 52 female, arrived from France on holidays. She's been here for 2 days and hasn't been around the house much, shopping and sightseeing the whole day before she'd watch TV and go to bed at night. No effort to get to know my best friends. Great. No asking to spend time with her grandkids. Just shopping and breaking into the fridge. Literally breaking into the fridge. They have to lock it up every night because she just keeps taking all the food. So they go downstairs one night and see that she opened the cage. It's literally like a wire cage around it. They're like, Mom, stop it. We need to leave food for the rest of us. She's like, it's mine! That's a shame that she's not spending any time to get to know anyone. I was just cleaning up after lunch when she came to me and asked, what's the situation here with me and the boys? I explained that they are happily married and amazing friends, and she looked disappointed at first before stating that Riley looks hot and making up some sexual allusions. He is like a brother and I felt uncomfortable. Huh? Riley looks hot? Oh, are you trying to set me up with him? He's married! I told her it's not like that, and then she asked what is the point in living with them if I don't at least get something from them.
How about genuine friendship, mother?
Are you saying that to live with someone, it has to be purely sexual? No! That's so weird. Please stop. I am uncomfortable. I sighed, told her my truth. These boys are my family. They are brothers more than she's ever been my mom. I mean, it unfortunately does sound like she's not really around. Lance drove me to every OB appointment when I was pregnant. Riley was the one holding my hand when I was in labor. They are the ones I can trust with my kids' lives. They have been here for me through thick and thin, while she was happy to ignore me so she could live her best life. That's so fascinating that there are parents out there that are like this. They're like not around, and yet they still feel entitled to like be in their either children's or grandchildren's lives when they have made no effort to actually be in their lives. If you genuinely want to be around, you have to do the work to be around. There ain't nothing wrong with wanting to live your best life. Like, traveling and everything sounds fun. But like, if you care about your family, you need to put in the effort to do so, my friend. I told her that if she believes I don't find anything in their friendship, then she needs a serious reality check. She huffed. All the snacks fall out of her robe and she's like, and left. Ever since, her side of the family calls me ungrateful and said it was an uncalled for. Like, it sounds like her mother is not around. And, you know, Riley and, what was the other one's name? Lance. Riley and Lance have been the ones actually around, and hence why they're the godparents, because they have proved that they are trustworthy with OP's children. Mother has not proved that. People don't deserve access all the time, especially if they're showing that they are not going to respect your space and your time and all of that. If they are consistently doing that, they don't deserve the access. If they prove later that they are willing to do the work and respect your time and space, then maybe. Make sure the people in your life are respecting your space and boundaries and time to then give them access. That's the deal here. Am I the a-hole for refusing to swap Christmas gifts for my family friend with my friend's girlfriend? Trying to connect all the dots. That friend is their friend. My 26 female friend, Sebastian, has a girlfriend, Laura. They've been together for a year. Sebastian and I are family friends, so we both know each other's parents pretty well. I get along very well with his dad, Ralph, and we will all be spending Christmas at Ralph's place. For Christmas, I bought Ralph a travel bag and it had it personalized with patches relating to significant countries he's traveled to. Cute! It's a bit tacky, but I know he'll find it kitsy? And use it as a gym bag or something, so perfect for a Christmas gift. I think that's adorable. Go ahead. Someone wants you to swap that? Something that's very personalized to them? I posted about this on Instagram and Laura saw it. She DM'd me asking if I'd be willing to swap Christmas gifts with her. She got Ralph a bottle of cognac. That's how you say that, right? She said that since Ralph has always disliked her, this could be an opportunity for her to get into his good books. It feels very ironic. Like, you have a feeling that they don't like you, and so you're probably doing behavior that they don't like, which is taking someone else's gift to them. Oh, that's kind of funny. As much as I understood that, I said no, partly because I took a lot of time putting the gift together, and partly because Laura doesn't know Ralph well. How would she even know about what significant country would have been to add to the bag? He like points that out as he's opening it, like, thanks. How do you know this? We don't even know each other that well. The rest of the family is just holding their presents very awkwardly, like, she's like, I have a Ouija board and I ask the ghosts in my room what you like. He's like, huh? It doesn't make sense for her to give it to him. Laura then got annoyed and said I should have some empathy for her, given that Ralph has never hidden the fact that he likes me more than her and wishes Sebastian and I would date. I wondered if this is gonna be a whole like me versus her kind of thing. And not that even OP wants that. Like, she's just the guy's friend. It's like they can just be friends, my dude. Don't blame your insecurity on me, Laura. I do have empathy and told her that, but I also think her saying that was a bit of emotional blackmail. Like, sure, I get that, my dude, but that doesn't mean you can just take the very personal gift. Well, did she make it? No, she bought it, but like still, it's still really personal. Like, that's not how this works. Laura is now apparently complaining about me to mine and Sebastian's mutual friends. So mature to do. And posting passive-aggressive things about the best girlfriend you have to worry about on social media. Laura, you are capable of being better than this.
Please do it.
It's a shame when people act out of insecurity, isn't it? Because that's the thing. OP has done nothing. Like, she's even been very communicative to Laura. It's like, hey, I get that, but you can't just take my gift. If you want to improve your relationship with Ralph, then get him Wreck-It Ralph or something. Make it funny. Like, your poor relationship with him is not my responsibility. And just because I'm Sebastian's friend doesn't mean that you are any less capable of being secure in your relationship with him.
Don't bring me into this.
Sebastian hasn't mentioned it, and I don't want to in case Laura never told him. Yikes. Laura needs therapy. I don't want to make Christmas awkward, and I get how Laura must feel because Ralph is an intense person, and you know when he doesn't like you. Yeah, honestly, that would be rough. But unfortunately, Laura doesn't seem to be giving many reasons for him to like her. If she does not handle having an adult conversation with other people. But at the same time, I feel like I should be able to give a Christmas present to someone I care about with being called that girl best friend. Am I the a-hole?
Nay!
Literally, no. No. You've handled this very maturely, and she has not returned that energy, and that's not your fault. You can release the burden of her acting like a scrub. As usual, we hope the best for her. We really do, because we want people to be their best selves. Because the more everyone does that, the more the world can act more peacefully. Hopefully. Hopefully we'll get there one day. We will continue to advocate for that. But in the meantime, you don't need to feel responsible for her actions. So no, not the a-hole. Alright, my dudes, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something or two. I feel like in past videos, I've made the focus just on entertainment and, joking around and stuff. And of course, I want to still joke around and everything, but I like bringing the attention to hey, let's have a conversation about encouraging honest communication and genuine relationship building. And I'm no expert, but there are certain things that are just good to encourage, and I just want to be part of that encouragement. And of course, make some fun jokes along the way. Sometimes the behavior is silly. So, thank you to the OPs for allowing me to read their stories. They will be linked below. And if you have any stories you'd like to share, you can either email me or go down to the description to the Google form link and fill it out there. I hope you're doing well, but if not, I hope this video has brightened your day at least a little bit and learned something. In particular, about having honest, authentic, safe relationships with people, as well as cultivating that within yourself, because you deserve to have a good relationship with you. I think these stories can be a good opportunity to open up those conversations. So, take care of yourself, take care of each other, go be a good human, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!